Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So, today we're going to talk about relationships. I did a little bit of research, and there's actually about 25 different relationships. So, it really depends on how you break it down. Um, there's particular names for the categories that they have. And I have about three different sources today. So, um, let's speak on the easiest. So the easiest to break these down are going to be like um, on Very Well Mind. They have platonic, which is a close friendship without sex. Romantic, feelings of love and attraction through intimacy, commitment, and infatuation. Codependence, an imbalanced relationship where one partner typically takes care of the other. Casual often involves sex without commitment. Open is a consensual, non monogamous relationship where both parties sleep with other people. Toxic and unhealthy relationship that harms you emotionally, physically, or physiologically. So, I think those are pretty clear to understand, and I think that we all do believe that those exist. Um, so, I don't think that we need to dive more into those so much, but I can give you a brief description of them. What I did think was more important were the other types that they name and they break down. I have two sites. One goes from 20, one goes to 25. So there's about five different ones that aren't included on the first set, which really made me curious. Because I'm curious if anyone else experiences these things or has any relationship with them. Um, so, so let's list them here. So I'm going to list them first with the description, and then maybe we'll dive into them. Like I said, there's about 25, so we probably won't have time to dive into each one of them, but just knowing that they exist is going to be pretty important. So the first is the first relationship that you've ever had with someone. Second, the rebound, the relationship after a breakup. Then there's three, open relationship, which we already discussed. Four, a long distance relationship, geographically far from each other. Toxic relationship, a relationship with a narcissist. Friends with benefits, only for sex. Situationship, confused relation. Benching, treating someone as an option. Platonic relationship, no sexual attraction or spiritual love. Allosexual, sexual attraction to someone. Sologamy, self-marriage. Marriage of spouses, and polygamy, multiple sexual partners. Family relationship, blood relations. Friends, relations, mutual trust. Live-in relationship, practicing marriage like without a marriage. Trophy relationship, materialistic relationship. A validation relationship, social status is based on bond. Scripted relationship, empathy based relationship. Satisfied relationship, the true love. So it seems like we should all be trying to go towards the satisfied relationship, true love. But some of us might be caught in any of these other stages or places, and we might need to break away and or move into a different space. So with that being said, I think things to focus on would be number five, toxic relationship with the narcissist. Friends with benefits, only good for sex. Situationship, confused relation. Benching, treating someone as an option. I think those are going to be very important to cover because I believe they're most relevant. Um, so, toxic relationship characterized by harm, manipulation, or constant negativity. Recognizing pattern is crucial for your mental and emotional well-being. Whether you've chosen a red flag or trapped with a narcissist, this bond will carry and cry, will make you cry at the end. Further, it will make you realize that you were wrong. Every opinion of yours and your partner's matter in a relationship is basically a brick in the relationship. If the base isn't strong to tell them how you could, a relationship would be unsuccessful. So basically it seems like everything that happens is going to be an issue. So it seems like that might not work out. I don't know how you can actually make a toxic relationship a non-toxic relationship. So I feel like that's something that we'll have to look into. Obviously, we're not into therapy, but just learning where that goes from there might be important. Um, Friends with benefits to friends who engage in sexual relationship without romantic commitment, clear boundaries, and mutual consent are essentially to prevent misunderstandings. They decided not to be a part of each other's emotional life and personal privacy just for sex. The new generation is going toward friends with benefits while becoming sexually active. Um, if you both know your boundaries, then I guess that'll be fine because you all will be operating on the same wavelength. There won't be someone expecting more from the other person. So I believe that's probably okay. But friends with benefits can have issues. And I feel like sometimes they're really just situationships that were labeled as friends with benefits. So now we'll move into situationships where two people are involved emotionally but have not defined their commitment. It can be confusing and sometimes emotionally draining. Meanwhile, a person commit himself to another person, but the second person reject him or not accept him because of the confusion. And that's where it gets confusing. A little bit confusing that wanting to stay with someone but fair to make commitment strange, right? The first person's feeling stuck with another and another can't move without rejection, so it's harmful. So I think a lot of times friends with benefits end up becoming situationships once they've like run their course or people become interested in someone else. They kind of are already like loading onto the next person when they're still with you. So it's kind of like you become a placeholder for their next endeavor, and that it also leads into benching, which we are at now. Treating someone as a backup while keeping options open. This is often unfair to the person. It can lead to emotional harm. Therefore, you shouldn't practice benching relationship just for fun because it makes someone feel close to you. And he will, and come to know that he's a backup. This heart will be broken in a million pieces. So, I would never want to emotionally mess with someone. So I believe, like, don't do that at all. That's not good. Don't engage in it. Don't think about it. All bad. I'm thinking if you're doing benching for fun, there's something wrong with you. But, other than that, you can have fun, but don't bench people. Make sure you have set a precedent of what you guys are both going to go and be into. So, preferably, I would say doing just set your standards before time, so you don't turn into a situationship. And then we're going to move on because those were the ones that were listed from Wire Toast, the 20, and then there were 25 on Marriage.com, which means there's 5 that weren't included on the other one. So I'm going to add controlling relationship, which might also be a part of the toxic relationship. It says, not fun to be a part of. Often handled with jealousy, controlling person wants to monitor your social media and electronic devices. Clinging relationship often stems from insecurities. You may not feel good enough for your mate or have dealt with broken trust from a former relationship that's carried into your current one. 2, independent, opposite of the above types of the relationship where there's a thing with being someone which is too independent. If you're in a serious relationship and your partner is too independent, regularly spend time with you or consider your opinion or matters, this could be problematic. Experimental relationship. Such types of relationships start out when you are trying to break the cycle and try something new. It can be considered a dating relationship where you are exploring options and you have never considered. Allows you to see yourself from a different perspective and influence what you would look for in your future relationship, which might be a really good thing for people to do. Trying something else that's out of your typical behavior, because if you're doing something that's in your typical behavior, you're probably just stuck in a pattern. I feel like trying something new will open up your perspective to others. So then they have toxic relationship again on here on this one. You should feel special, secure, and happy. These relationships are just the opposite. They seem great at first, and the person's true colors start to show. Passive aggressive behavior, physical or verbal abuse, excessive criticism, feeling of walking on eggshells around your mate, a severe lack of getting back to what you're giving your partner. The worst is that a toxic relationship drags down your self-worth, which makes it harder for you to leave. Moreover, a study finds that people with low self-esteem are subject to such relationships. So, if you find that yourself is one of those people, make sure that you realize that this is an issue, and then you need to change what the state that you're in. So whether that it would be like to leave your partner, to give yourself space, to find a new partner. I just think things need to be considered once you're in a toxic relationship, because it seems like one person grows and one person diminishes, and that's not the benefit of a relationship. They have grief by relationship. Misery loves company. I do believe that is true. I do not think that people should engage in that. Opposites attract. I think that is very true. They have nothing in common. It could be it could be a blessing. Could both balance each other out. So yeah, opposites attract could be a balancing effect, which is cool. But what if there is nothing in common with the other person and you guys grow apart because you have nothing in common? So I feel like that could be an issue. Scripted relationships happen because somebody like you, but feel like you should like that person. Take one good paper relationship. You don't exactly have to have feelings for this guy, but he's handsome, sweet, good job, makes you laugh. He's total match material, so you date him anyways. Yeah, there's something that just reminds you that he's not the one. So I think a lot of people probably here, they were probably like, oh, I should probably snatch this person while I can. And then it turns out to be, wow, something's missing. What was it? What did I miss? So I think trying things like that might not be the best either. Career-oriented relationship where career takes precedent over everything. Let's just skip right over that. Unhappy relationship where they reach the point where they're unhappy and will look for ways to reconnect with each other. Usually they stay together for anything other than love. They could be financial reasons. They stay together for their kids due to social pressure. Validation relationship, insecure relationship, sacrifice relationship, asexual relationship, complicated relationship, hate-love relationship with equal parts of hate and love. That sounds even more worse than toxic. Mature relationship, with a relative lack of judgment and relatively few non-negotiable rigid exceptions. Usually associated with people over 40 when their needs have changed or evolved. In such a relationship, people may move away from their predetermined scripts. Feels more like friendship, trophy relationship, and the one. So I think ideally we should all be looking for the one. You just get those butterflies in your stomach when you talk to them, and you know, like it's all good. So I think myself personally, the one is the ultimate goal for any relationship, marriage wise. So I think we should all be striving towards that. When the person gives you the butterflies in your stomach and you can't talk, you're confused, when you go, oh my God, you finish first? No, you start first. No, you hang up first. Those kind of things. So I think we should all look towards that kind of relationship if possible. And then I think it is just a great place to be. So if you're looking to build a better relationship with someone, I think first we need to set our standards and what we think. Set your standards and then know your value, so you're not settling for less than you should be. That will stop those codependent or one-way type of relationships. So, and it says if you want to evolve your relationship, spend time together by taking chances and trying new things, allowing your partner to know you achieve mutual understanding. Being honest is an essential part. Being optimistic, notable skills of life that matter, respect. Couples who support one another are more content in their relationship. Learn to share mutual trust and mutual trust to feel safer both emotionally and physically. Maintain individuality to nurture others' important relationships. So make sure that you have your own individual personality, and your personality can be motivating and positive to your partner, and you can help them in their endeavors, and vice versa. So I think with that being said, we said a lot about relationships. There's going to be a lot that I have to go back through, speak to a few individuals that I know and ask them what kind of relationship that we have, and then decipher from there and hopefully build some um, better relationships and some better bonds over time. And if you guys have any comments, please drop them below. And if you have a relationship that you're in, please tell us which type it is. If you have one that you think might be missing, um, please let us know what that is and list it. I like to know more about this and create more positive and non-toxic relationships. So please take this information and do with it what you must, but make sure that you are doing things that are best for you and that you're going to have fun doing it. So, with that being said, I'm going to let you guys go so you can get ready for our uncensored version, which is going to be on our fan page, which we're going to go back and we're going to redo this, but we're going to give it a little bit more in depth and we're going to change the scenery. So, if you guys are interested in seeing that, please find us on our fan page and I'll see you there. Other than that, have a great day.